Most all medical malpractice cases end up being memorable because they are often lengthy. There is no way to handle a medical malpractice case with 80% effort. The ones that are successful and the ones that we give 100% to, because that is what it demands. The medicine is complicated. It always is complicated. It can be intimidating and overwhelming to lawyers a lot of times as to how to delve into this area. About 90% of the cases I handle are referrals from other lawyers that are medical in nature. And I always applaud other lawyers that recognize when there's an area that's not their expertise. And we end up working with a lot of lawyers, and it ends up being their first or second medical malpractice case. The cases have a tendency to be a longer process than a typical car wreck case. They are often, require a higher level of resources as it relates to expert opinions and day in the life videos and things that you end up needing that you don't need in a typical car wreck case. I, for several years, did medical malpractice defense, and I feel like that helped me right out of law school to get at that perspective about what it is that is important when the other side is assessing a case and when the doctors are assessing the case from their vantage point. One of the things that has really changed the medical malpractice arena in a fundamental way is electronic medical records, because now there is a way to document with the computer forensics every time someone accessed an electronic chart, when entries were made into the electronic chart, and when there were changes made, if there were changes made after the fact, after something happened. And so that has really revolutionized, from an evidentiary standpoint, what we're able to prove about what happened and when it happened and who knew about certain things. A lot of times when families come to us, they're looking for answers. They want to know what happened and why. And we are able to provide that information. The last large malpractice case I had was a 5-year-long journey from the time it began until it ended, and it's still, some parts of it are still in process, but it involved a drug treatment facility that had released a young man not on the medical prescriptions that he needed, and he was hallucinating and psychotic within a couple of days, walked out into traffic in the middle of the night and was hit by cars and killed. And he had been wrongfully taking off medications that we believe that he needed. A large part of that case involved the documentation, and a lot of that documentation had been made after the facility learned that he had died, but it had been dated like it had been made beforehand. There is some transparency issues that are at the forefront right now of medical care, and documentation is important, and that's a good thing. And so I do believe that we're able to hold folks accountable in a way that we've never been able to before. And I believe that's good for medicine and good for the healthcare industry as a whole on a long-term basis. I think that I look at us more as the gatekeepers sometimes of when there's folks who are out of bounds. Plaintiffs' lawyers are what helps keep that trajectory on the right path. And so I never hesitate when I know a family hasn't gotten the care that they deserve, to do what I can to make that care better for the next patient.